It was kind of crazy that I couldn't get a hold of anybody for months, and literally the day after the story ran, they called me. We need accountability, and it's journalists like New York Focus that take on that task.
We know what happens in communities around the country where local journalism has gone dark. Taxes rise, corruption increases. If we lose the kind of capacity of reporting that New York Focus provides, I worry what will happen to this state.
Obviously, the bigger media outlets aren't going to cover stories like mine. So, yeah, you have to depend on the local journalists.
New York Focus, it just felt that they were a part of our support system in a really difficult time.
New York Focus is the state's only statewide nonprofit newsroom. We publish in-depth accountability and investigative journalism that explains what our leaders are up to, how their decisions impact everyday New Yorkers across the state, and restores accountability to the halls of power.
Mayors and governors around the country, in my opinion, are getting away with murder because there's not that kind of tough, intense local reporting that there used to be. And I think that it's the most exciting new phenomenon in the media landscape that we have these nonprofit online newsrooms like New York Focus that are really filling the vacuum that has been left by the closure of all of these papers.
We started New York Focus because we want to get back to serving the people of New York, and we often conduct reader surveys and provide opportunities for reader feedback. And we also have conducted a statewide community listening tour, and there was a collective sense of disempowerment that we were able to glean from people because they didn't feel like they had the information necessary to properly navigate these systems that dictate so much of their lives.
People, I think, assume that if one place in the world is well covered by journalists, it's got to be New York, the media capital of the world. But in fact, almost all of those many journalists who live in New York City are focused on national and international politics, if they're political journalists. And local media has been extremely hard hit. So we launched as a mostly volunteer operation, and our budget has roughly doubled in most of the years since, and we are now a team of about 15 full-time staff. And so we want to grow. We want to grow our footprint in Albany and to have reporters covering every major agency in state government, some of which are the size of entire other states and don't have a single reporter dedicated to them.
It's so important, I think, at a time when we're experiencing sweeping changes on the national level, to show how these things are filtering down to the state and local level and affecting individuals. And I feel through the pages of New York Focus, I've met so many people around the state, in a matter of speaking, whom I would not otherwise know.
We've seen how much hunger there is for this type of work. Our audience has grown tremendously, our support network has grown, our journalism has become more ambitious and more impactful, but we think we've really only scratched the surface of the work that is so urgently needed for our state.
I think it's not at all an exaggeration to say that our democracy depends upon the health of a great information ecosystem that includes the kind of journalism that New York Focus does. Journalism actually sustains the life of communities. In that sense, the journalism that tells the stories of New York is helping to hold that community together.
I would just like to thank New York Focus for the work that they did for my family and the work that they continue to do. As long as my daughter is healthy and continuing to make progress, that's all I can ask for.
Help us.
Help us.
Help us.
Help us become the permanent watchdog New Yorkers deserve.
And let's find out.
Let's find out.
Let's find out.
Let's find out who runs New York.